Bay Club, this week's episode is a little bit different than the topics that we tackled before. We're going to talk about what is going on in Palestine, or rather, what we can do. I'm not the right person to educate you on the conflict, the war, the genocide, but I can use my voice and my platform to remind you of your privilege and use your voice. And even though it might be uncomfortable, I really urge you to listen to this episode. We're not going to go deeply into the topic of what is going on there, but what can we do? And I'm having my beautiful friend Ilav, who agreed to sit down with me. She is one of the only people I know that keep staying engaged, that keep their eyes open to what is going on down there. She is sitting down with us today to share a little bit about her resources, about what we can do and how we can cope with it all. So let's get into it.
Exciting.
Ilav, yes. Welcome to Salty Bay Club. I'm so glad that you're here. We are having an episode that differs a little bit from the topics that have been before, but it's really dear to both of our hearts. Mm-hmm. And you are here because you are the only, the single person I know who is really practicing to keep their eyes open in hell. So today we're gonna talk about how to cope in really difficult conversations, and we're gonna go into the topic of not really what exactly is happening in Gaza, but what can we do? So thank you for being here. Thank you for sitting down with me. Yeah. Since you're here on Salty Bay Club, I baked you something that I feel like embodies you. Oh. Obviously, it had to be something with chocolate. Yeah. And it's not like a huge cake, because you are such a beautiful, petite, but such a cool person. So we are having a very chocolatey strawberry rhubarb muffin with a little bit of sweetness and sass. And I love you so much, and thank you for being here. I love
you so much. I actually already tried a piece, and I was like, "Oh, it's so good."
All right. How do you feel today?
Good. A bit nervous. Yeah, but I think that's normal, right? Yeah, I think it's a part of it. Yeah, but a bit nervous. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But also very excited, thankful. I told you that before, but I'm so thankful that you're using your platform for this. That means the world. And also that I have a friend like you who cares and who also thinks it's important. And I think that's, that means a lot. It's like a community, and that's, Yeah,
I relate so much. It means, or it is so important to have people around us with shared values, right? And it is really hard to find in this society where we barely ever share what's truly on our hearts. Honestly, I mean, there's 1,000 reasons that I love you so much, and you're such a good friend. And one of them is that you are, this word is very overused, but I'm still gonna use it, authentic. You are such a person who leads from their heart.
Thank you, babe.
And especially in a topic and a time like that, I know and I can imagine that being guided by our hearts and keeping our hearts open, right? That is so freaking hard when we are confronted with such terror.
Yeah.
Why is the topic so dear to your heart?
I've thought about that myself. What is why? Because I have Gaza, Palestine since I've been 15 years old. Yeah, I've just they are in my heart, and it's why? Where did it start? I don't know where it started. I mean, we can't forget, my parents are from Iraq. They were political refugees, and I guess it's in us, and they've always, I don't know. They've just had a special place in my heart, and the first essay I wrote about it. It was just I it goes so way back. And I always talk about them as like my brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
I think that is what it comes down to. We in this society, we're connected, right?
Yeah.
We're globally connected, and because of that incredible tool, the internet, right? We are seeing and we can engage in so many things that we usually we wouldn't be able to see otherwise. But also that brings some responsibility, because once we see it, we can't really unsee it. Once we see it, we can't really say, oh, that's not for me, like, right? That's not my topic, that's not happening in my country. And that is, I have a real issue with the fact that so many people milk this topic, and they're really like, they're watching it on the news every day, but then shrug their shoulders and be like, well, what can I do? And there is a part of me that really understands that, but also I think it is our responsibility, because we have the information to use it. Right?
Yeah.
And there we have that privilege, right? And the privilege is like, we don't have to look. We can.
Exactly. Yeah.
So using that privilege is what it comes down to.
Yeah, and I've thought about that too. Like when I grew up, like my parents were watching Al Jazeera, and like Al Jazeera is not like covering anything. Like they're showing everything. Like there's and that's what I grew up with. So it's like, I think that's also a thing where I grew up seeing that, like since I was a child. And also like, I feel like, how can I not care? How can I not do anything? Like, it's like, I can't. I can't. I don't know how I couldn't. I think that's also something inside. Like, I cannot just not look. I can't. People tell me like don't look at the pictures, don't look at the videos, it's making you sad. I'm like, I cannot not look. I can't. It's like, I can't.
We need more people like you, because this is the engagement, right? The whole, you're saying I cannot, and I'm sure that has to do with your past, with your heritage, with being confronted with that topic for such a long time. Like it's probably even part of your identity, right? And that is a beautiful thing, but it's also I want to say it is at some point, I don't know if a burden is the right word, because it's a really important path, and it's not something, there's a lot of negativity, really sensitive words, but obviously also has negative effects, right? Which we can't even compare to what's going on there, and to the people who are actually sitting in this crisis, in these war zones. Can you speak a little bit about your courage straddling that with the negative effects that it brings? Because I think it is important to understand. I'm looking at it. I know that it's gonna bring heartache. I know that it's gonna bring anxiety. I know that it's gonna bring grief, but I'm still doing it. So it's an informed decision of like, I know this is hard, but I'm still gonna do it. And that is what I think is very, very honorable. Would you share a little bit of what it brought for you?
So what I always think about is like, I am sure no one of them actually wants their pictures out there, like in that way, like dead bodies, like desperate, like all those things. So I'm just feeling like the fact that we're watching these pictures, videos, like they don't, like, how do I explain that? But like, I feel like I know that it makes me sad, it breaks my heart, but I'm literally doing it with them, for them. Like, I feel like because I don't think they want that. I don't think they want their mother's dead body on a video, on a picture. And of course, I have had like, I think I haven't had one good night of sleep the last 1.5 years. Like, I think like you wake up, and sometimes you wake up and you're like, especially in the beginning, I was like, is it a dream? Like, is it over? Is it like that? And we cannot forget, like, this started like this goes way back. So this has been miserable for, but like what's going on now is like extreme. It's extreme. It's really extreme. It's but it's also, I think for me, it's like I watch it and then I'm like, okay, love, you gotta do something. And that's why I keep on sharing. I keep on talking about it. I keep on boycotting. I keep on like, I stay like, because I'm like, that's what I can do. I'm trying to use the pain and also remind myself this pain is like this little compared to what they must be in.
Yes.
And I'm trying to just like use it and do something. Because I think if I wouldn't do anything, I think I would just dig myself into this hole that's like, that you get sucked into because you're just like, so I think that's how I'm coping with it, by doing something, talking about it, just like, oh,
I believe that not doing anything makes you numb. Right?
Exactly.
It makes you close your heart off from the potential hurt, grief, terror, anxiety, right? For being engaged with it. But this numbness, I think, and that is a personal opinion, is even worse because it takes our humanity from us, right? We are inextricably connected, and we are one big human world. All these identifications and borders and these nationalities, right? They make it so easy for us to separate.
Yeah.
But to actually remember that we are all one, and that might sound cheesy, but it's not, right? It's what we gotta come down to again and again, and we gotta open our hearts again and allow that terror in, because otherwise it's gonna separate us more. And that is what's happening in the world so much. It's really hard to see.
I mean, I notice it myself. Like, I'm not gonna lie about it. Like, people who have stayed silent and who aren't showing any, like, who are just like shutting off and just doesn't want to have anything to do with it because it's too much negativity for them, they say, or stuff like that. I just like, I notice myself just like, no, I can't deal with that. I don't want that. I cannot have that person in my life. I can't, because it's too extreme. It's too much. It's like, we're beyond that. Like, we can't. So of course it's separating us. Yes, definitely it is separating us. But yeah, I still, as I said, I share, I talk about it because maybe one day they'll start, wanting to hear and wanting to care and all those things, because you never know, you know, and you never know.
You also mentioned that you're boycotting.
Yes.
Right? Let's go a little bit into that, because I know that you're quite informed of, like, that's an easy thing we can all do. That is something that certainly has an impact.
Yes.
What brands, what big commercial organizations, what is out there that we should boycott and why?
So, first of all, we should definitely boycott McDonald's. I know. Like, that was like, I know. We should boycott McDonald's. Like, we're talking Starbucks, we're talking Coca-Cola, like Pepsi, all these brands. And actually SodaStream too. I read that. Yeah, SodaStream too. So what I have done, and this is like, what I have done is like, I follow pages. Like, I think that's, there are some really good pages. I am really bad at names. I follow all of them. I don't want to like say something wrong, like pronounce an Instagram page wrong. And I get a lot of information there. But I also check it out myself.
Yes.
I always double check it. Like I always do that because I still want to like know more.
And if you send me these pages afterwards, I'm gonna put them in the show notes.
Perfect.
And everybody who's listening, it's so hard to get really good resources, right? So I'm gonna share that and make it accessible.
And there's also an app you can download where you scan the barcode. Is it called that way? Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't feel like the app is updated enough. But there are like some brands, and it will show you, and it will also like inform you why.
Ooh.
Yeah, it will like tell you why and how.
Oh, this is great resources.
Yeah. It's really great. And especially because it's hard to remember. Okay, why not the Coca-Cola? Why was it McDonald's? Like what? In what way are they funding that, and in what way? But it's like you got it there too. Yeah. So that's also amazing. But like the Instagram accounts are gold right now.
Yes.
Like they are gold. And of course you have to like double check. Like some accounts, you need to be careful.
Yes.
But I follow the big ones and the one that I really feel like you can trust them. I will send you some.
Nice. Thank you. Yeah. And I know that's once again something that is so golden but also dark in the big World Wide Web, right? Fact checking.
Yes.
Because obviously this is such a wide topic and there's so many opinions and there's so many really loud voices. And usually the loud voices are the ones that have been promoted, right? And if we only believe what we see on TV, well, somebody owns that TV channel, right? So I think it's really important for everybody out there to realize that war is an industry, and what we see is carefully selected. That doesn't mean that everything is wrong, but I really want to form the awareness in people that what we see is carefully selected by somebody in power.
Yeah. Definitely.
And their social media comes in, which is a wild chaos, and there is a lot of there's shit shows going down there too, and that's not just beautiful, but it gives people a voice. It gives people a channel to speak up, and also for people who are there, who suffer right now, right? To have a voice.
Exactly. Yeah. And you have a lot of the voices are actually coming from journalist people in Gaza. Like it's literally there. I know they're being targeted. Like it's a disaster. It is a disaster. It's actually dangerous for a lot of them to even report. But like, and we're also talking like people who were just like, or like a normal photographer who became a journalist, who maybe didn't like, but that just like, okay, I have to inform, and got its life like is putting its life at risk. So you have a lot of voices from inside Gaza, and I think that's voices we need to listen at. Like we need to listen to those. And you see, like I'm not kidding. Like I read an article in like in Sweden we call it Aftonbladet, or here you would call it maybe Zeitenbild or something like that. And you read something, and then you're like, of course, if I only read that, of course I won't get the whole picture. Like I won't understand that like what's going on there is bad. Like there's a genocide going on. Like it's bad. It's really bad. Yeah. That is an important point that stands out, right? Because we said that war has two sides, and it's just wild and weird, whatever voices are out there, but there is a genocide going on there, and that is as terrible as it gets. And especially 100. Here, I mean, I think it's weird that weird is not the right word, it is horrific that here in Austria, I mean, it's less than 100 years ago that we had a genocide going on here. Yeah. Right? Yeah. It's something that is just not acceptable. Yeah. And it doesn't matter
what you think of the big companies or whatever your opinion is, that is unacceptable. So it's a line that we have to draw, and where that also then really made me stand up. And actually, you listened to, you talked about those journalists being down there. It was last week I watched a video of a journalist and she was just being confronted with the look in her eyes and her voice shaking is what made me do the last step of initiating our talk today, right? I mean, honestly, that we're here, you said thank you for using my platform, but my voice, but I credit it all to you. Like, I would not be here having that important conversation if I wasn't within your field, because once again, we need each other. If I wouldn't have you as such a big inspiration of keeping her heart open, her voice out there, and her eyes open, even if it's terrible, I probably would not feel important or strong enough. But that's what it comes down to. We have so much power as these tiny humans, right?
Yeah, we have.
And we just have to stand up and use our voices.
Yeah, we do. We have to do that. Like, we are so privileged. Like, we're here. Like, we have it so good right now. We're like sitting on this bed and we're like, you know, we're having it so good right now. And I'm just like, we have to use our voices.
We do.
Yeah.
It is. It's the one thing that we can definitely do, right?
Exactly.
Use our voices.
Exactly.
It's not gonna allow us to feel what anybody in the situation is feeling, right? But we have to try to be an ally.
Yes.
Okay, we talked about boycotting some brands. We talked about following journalists who are actually in the war zone, right? Who are reporting, using social media. What else is it that people can do? Like people like you and me sitting on their couches, using their privilege, using their voices.
Yeah, exactly. Using our voices. Keep on talking about it. Talk about it even when it feels uncomfortable to talk about it. That's actually when we need to talk about it, because that's when I'm like, okay, and you come into a room and you can feel like, okay, these people maybe don't want to hear that, but that's when you maybe should talk about it, because that's maybe people that need to, you know,
to open up more.
Yeah, open up more. And also, like, I think it's really important to share and like because of the algorithm.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a thing. The Instagram whole thing, I don't know how that works, but it's a thing.
Yes. Yeah.
It is a thing. And like, yeah, boycotting, you do have demonstrations too.
Yes.
And yeah, I think like, and of course you can donate. You can donate too. I mean, right now it's very like limited, like they are not getting any access to food and so on. But there are like trucks standing outside waiting. I think they let some trucks in now. But like there are so many trucks with so much things inside. So I mean, donating.
Yeah, I just heard 1 or 2 days ago that I think 2 or 3 dozen trucks might be allowed in by, but before the war, quote unquote war, officially started, right? I think October 2003, there were a couple hundreds coming in
every day. Yeah,
like it's just a drop on the hot stone, but it's necessary. And
it's really necessary. Exactly, donation too. That's what I'm coming up with right now.
Yeah.
And also, like, I talk about it a lot with my son, because I believe in the next generation too.
Yeah, you have your mother of 2 beautiful children.
Yeah.
Share about the journey with them around the topic.
I mean, Inaya was, as I said, this has been ongoing since long time. So it didn't like just start in 2023, but like Inaya was born 23, right? I think so. And so she was like born, and then, you know, all these pictures, everything came out. And I remember, like, for me, it was like breastfeeding her in the night and just scrolling and scrolling and crying and scrolling and crying. So Inaya for me is also like, when I see those babies, children in Gaza, it was like I just saw Inaya all the time. And Leo for me is like, you know, he's in the age now, he's turning 5, so you can talk about these things with him. And I do talk about it with him. I tell him that we're not eating that, we're boycotting that, we're not going there, we're this. And I talk about Palestine. And I'm very like open about that. And he knows Palestine. It's super sweet. And he'll be like, just like from nowhere, he will be like, Palestina, Palestine. Like, he's very like, and he's like, Palestine. And he's, you know, maybe doesn't get the exact details and all these things, but it's fine. It's going to come. I just want him to, just the way I have been with my parents on demonstrations and been involved in all these things. I don't know how much I got then, but I feel like that made me a bit also to the person I am today. So yeah, I'm involving them. I'm definitely involving them. But I'm also like, it's so important for me that they don't have any hate. Like, I don't want them to hate anyone. I don't, this whole thing also with like I always say, like, we're standing united. Like, there's been so much topics about like, okay, being up against Jewish people. No, we're united. No, we're one. Like, you have one of the biggest accounts I'm following on Instagram. I don't want to say something wrong and what it's called, but it's like, it's run by Jewish people. It's like, and we are united. We want the same thing. We want the same thing. And it's so important. It's so important not to mix that up and not to like, no, there is no hate there. Not at all. Like, that's one thing. We get this hate, like, no, we need love. We don't need hate.
Exactly.
So I think that's also so important. It is so important.
And what do we fuel, right? Do we keep fueling the hate with all the rage and the anger and the news, or do we keep fueling the love and we educate and we talk and we work towards that unity? Does Leo know what war is?
Yes, we've talked about war. I try to say, for me, it's like, and maybe this is a bit, but like, I talk about genocide. Because I think that's the more appropriate word for it. And I talk about that, but I say it in a way where I'm like, I'll be like, they're not getting any shoes. And then I was like, okay, they're not getting any food. And I was scrolling the phone. Sometimes I don't even notice it, but like, we're sitting and I'm just scrolling the phone and I'm just stopping and I just look at something and he'll be like, Mama, was is this? What is that, Mom? What is that? And I'll be like, oh, and he's like, no, I want to look. And I'm like, okay. And then it's like a child and he's like, why is this child sad? And I'm like, yeah, the child's mama isn't there anymore. And he'll be like, but the mom will come back. I was like, Leo, the mom won't come back. But that's why, like, we love them and we will help them. And like, we, you know, and I'm trying to like make him understand that, okay, if we love them, if we help them, it's going to get better somehow. I'm not telling him, okay, the child will probably like maybe starve or something like that. I'm trying to still like give him some kind of hope. But yeah, maybe I share too much. Maybe it's too, but it's hard. It's hard to know where
that is a very personal decision, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's once again very, very important to respect each mini environment's decision, right? And that your family's decision. And I also like, I love the thought of, you know, obviously a 5-year-old can't comprehend the big matters, but we can plant seeds. Once again, we can plant these seeds of love. And I'm not a mom yet, so I'm probably not qualified to talk about that. But what I imagine, or my idea of it, is like, just think of our grandparents' generation or the one before, right? How we would transport ethics and morals and teach children about the hardest subjects were fairy tales. And I know in the US it's a little different, but here in Europe I grew up with really terrible fairy tales. And I also believe that children can cope, right? If they have that loving, supportive environment. So they are very, very able to look at things, obviously not at the harsh terror, unfiltered, very, very clearly. But I it's important to nurture the next generation.
It is. And then, I mean, that's how it, and then it goes on. And then like hopefully they'll learn something.
I want to circle back to something you said. You noticed how people who closed their eyes, you felt like you had to, you just cannot be as engaged with them anymore. I relate to that a lot because of like very different scenario, but I'm a yoga teacher and I've been in that industry for a decade. And there is a lot of toxic positivity. There's a lot of spiritual bypassing. There's a lot of good vibes only culture, right? And it doesn't really matter what part of life you look at. These topics are relevant for our homes, for our jobs, for how we are in relationships. But it is so important that we are cultivating a culture, right? Because culture is what we do, how we do things. That's what a culture is. And I think it's really important that we cultivate a culture where we don't just say good vibes only, where we actually keep looking, where we actually engage in the hard parts, and just in relationships. A really good relationship is one where you can talk about the shit. Where you actively stay in the hard conversation. And that counts one-on-one in friends or in romantic relationships, but that counts also with the world out there and with important topics like those.
And like I've noticed that especially now, the last 1.5 years, for me, that has been so important. And for me, I don't even feel safe and good when I'm around people who don't feel like they want to talk about it. Like, I mean friends. Then that's also what made me like, okay, that person, I can't. It's something else when you go into a room and you don't know the people and you realize, okay, but when if I'm gonna have someone in my life, like a friend or someone if someone cares and loves me, there should also be something that they should be willing to try to see or wanting to hear more about, and not be like, no, I can't, I don't wanna. That's not, no.
It's a quote that I heard on the Men Enough podcast, and it was Alok Avid Menon who said it, was compassion over comprehension. You do not have to understand everything about a topic, everything about a person to have compassion. To round up that conversation, what should be in the center of everybody's eye, mind, heart, right, is our shared humanity. That we don't boycott and share and keep our eyes open and our voices loud to hate on somebody else.
Exactly. As you're saying, like, the whole thing is like, we need to show each other more love. We don't need more hate.
Yes.
Like, we want everyone to be free. But like, until the people in Gaza aren't free, like, no one is free. Like, no one of us is free. How can we be free? Like, there will always be like a heavy stone in our hearts. Like, everyone needs to be free.
Yeah. And like even if you decide not to look, there is, like, again, shared humanity. There is war, there is genocide, there are people, children being killed. It's exactly. The terror is there even if you shut your eyes in front.
Right? Exactly.
So to once again sum up tools that everybody can do is stay in community. Stay in community that makes you feel safe and where you support each other in that hard time. Share on social media, use your voices, and share from good resources.
Exactly.
Really, really,
Really important.
Do your own research, fact check and double check. Another voice, don't eat at McDonald's, Starbucks. Check out, really go on the World Wide Web. There's lists out there with brands that are certainly engaging with that war keeps on going. Again, war is an industry and a lot of people profit from it, and I'm saying billions, right? So we can use our acts in where we put our coin. Keep talking to people.
Exactly.
That's how we are here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm so thankful that we sat down today. I'm so thankful for your presence in my life, because you are where I find a lot of eye-opening moments, a lot of resources, but also beyond that, like your compassion just as a woman obviously is very shown in this topic, that you're just able to keep your heart so wide open. But also beyond that, you are such a powerful woman, a beautiful mom, and you're just one of the most beautiful women I know.
Sweet.
And I love you so much.
You're amazing too.
Thank you for doing this with me.
Thank you.
Hey Bay Club, thank you for watching this week's episode. I know it's a difficult topic. It is hard to listen to, but that is why I'm on here again, just wanting to express extra gratitude, because this is important. We are one and we have to stand up for those who are struggling. Down in the episode details, you find all the links that Ilav sent me. I also put some additional resources in there. If you want to help, follow some of these accounts, comment or share this episode. I really think we should stand united, and there is so much you can do. Thank you. I love you.